Okay, so we're here on the Sony stand, and I'm meeting Álvaro Ortiz. Yeah, that's good. Álvaro, can you tell me a little bit about what your job is in Sony, and also the products which you're launching or showing at the show here, directed mainly at the professional videographer?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for being here, Kevin. A pleasure to be here. Mainly I'm the technical person for pre-sales for many countries in Sony, related mainly to the camcorders area on the entry-level production. So videographers are typically my customer profile, and we try to cover all their needs and all the stuff, mainly through many products like audio, monitors, and especially from my field, camcorders. So we will try to give the best.
So what features do you think are important for the professional videographers, and which products would you think are actually specifically ideal for a professional videographer?
Well, in fact, for instance, we have released 1 month before the NX3, the HXR NX3, which is a more powerful but cheaper model of the NX5, for instance. So this is a typical evolution that we have experienced on the market. Right now there are many more products, way cheaper than in the past. And especially, I think that people should be led through the application they are going to shoot at. For instance, maybe if they are going to be in a fictional environment, probably a large format sensor that provides a shallower depth of field is much more proper for them. And on the other hand, maybe they are shooting reality, they are shooting like now with an ENG mode. So for that case, probably a video sensor, smaller, could fit better. So we try to lead the customer, to help the customer through a much larger lineup than the one we had, for instance, 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you could only choose Betacam. That was obviously the main thing you could choose. Right now, we even know about the competitors, obviously. We can recommend even that maybe your workflow would be helped by third-party accessories, recorder, lenses, whatever. So that is the environment in which we used to be nowadays.
Okay, is it just camcorders that you're showing today, or what other products have you got?
Yeah, we have a lot of products. It's curious because depending on the budget, on the cost of the camera, it's typically to have much more renewal. For instance, if a customer purchases an F65, he obviously don't like to swap to another model next year. So typically on the entry level, we are renewing, we are leading the HDV and SD customers into the high definition world. Also in audio, for instance, we are presenting the new UWPD. They are very useful. They are much more tiny. The receiver can have 2-channel. It's backlit. You can feed it through the camcorder or also through an USB. So right now, that is something that maybe 5 years ago you couldn't hear, that something for professional audio could be fed by USB. So this world is changing, and we are trying to be engaged, especially with the customers, which is our main priority. For instance, also with the monitors that you can see just behind us, the cost and also, for instance, the weight has been reduced so that they can port it to another place. They can carry it in a much more comfortable way. For instance, for an OB band, it's obviously nice to have a lighter monitor wall. So, for instance, right now our new BVMA, sorry for the acronyms again, is leading us to have much lighter, 40% lighter monitors. So we are obviously renewing and improving our products to try to get the best, obviously.
Are you getting, obviously 4K is something that everyone seems to be talking about. How are you addressing that, and is there a need amongst the professional videography market at the moment for 4K?
Well, as many other things on this market, it depends on the penetration that it has on the consumer market. So, for instance, if you remember 2 years ago, we were talking a lot about the 3D TVs. Right now, even if people don't know that, most of the TVs they are purchasing have 3D incorporated. So this is something that it is getting part of us. So, for instance, for the 4K, probably the way to get into the market is through the big broadcasters and the big cinema, and also the consumer. So we will be probably sandwiched by those two worlds. That is for instance, this year we have the World Cup. There are many competitions that are being shot on 4K, and people is trying to have a future-proof camcorder, for instance, or monitor. So we have all those solutions, but obviously we need to be very careful because the workflow, for instance, is not so easy as to say, okay, 4 times more pixels. No, it involves a lot more things to bear in mind, especially from a technical point of view. But obviously we are trying to be very transparent. Our camcorders allow you to simply shoot on 4K. That's what we are trying to do, to allow them to be very friendly with the technology, and especially with 4K, which is a delicate issue to bear in mind.
Excellent. And just for the folks at home that can't make it to the show, where can they find out more information about Sony products?
Well, especially in our website, on the professional...
And the address is?
This is pro.sony.eu.
Just on the bottom of the screen.
Okay. And please correct me if I'm wrong. So that is where you can find it, because we try to keep out of the paper thing with the brochures here, but you will be welcome here.
Álvaro, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
It's been an education. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.